But yeah, we're live.
What's up, everybody? What's going down?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yo. What's up? I'm back. What you not saying?
I'm good, Pep. You?
Yeah, not bad. Yeah, I'm gonna just put these headphones in because it's better, isn't it? Otherwise, it's gonna be feedback.
So, Laws, man, what you think about this whole, Ryan Garcia versus, what's his name? Whoever that dude he fighting.
Luke Campbell. Yeah, I think, me personally, I think Luke Campbell's going to beat him. I think he'll duff him up. I
have a question, though. Do you really, because you can see that, like, it seemed like every now and again there's a fighter and they only got like 5, 10, 15 fights. And they haven't had a decisive fight in their whole boxing career, but a promoter or somebody or some media personality person comes out there and says they're supposed to be the next thing. Do you think that's the case with Ryan Garcia?
What? He's the next best thing?
No, like, you know how they put their eggs all in one basket, and you know how the media always try to sell somebody, whether that they're good or not. They only got like 5, 10, 15 fights, but they never had a decisive fight to showcase their actual skills versus competition.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the reason why I asked the question is because that's what I see when I see fighters like Ryan Garcia or this other big baby guy because of Deontay Wilder's loss. I always see people always try to, sell somebody too soon before you really know what they're all about. And I don't even think that I think that Oscar Fishnets, I think he has confidence in him and stuff like that, but you could tell he's not his favorite fighter because the dude never had a tough fight.
Exactly, sir. That's what I've been saying, Mike. That's exactly what I've been saying. Yeah, sorry, just one sec, Mike. Yeah, I've sent you the link, Stormy. If anyone wants to get on, you're more than welcome because you can now have 10 people on StreamYard.
Finally.
Yeah.
I mean, let's keep it real. Your first couple years in boxing, no matter what weight class, those are like the trying times when you're a deckhand, basically greenhorn, and you out there, you're learning the game, you're learning the craft, the tricks and all that stuff, different moves, different techniques, learning how to fight against multiple opponents with different from different backgrounds and stuff like that. And that's how you become a complete fighter, right along with the right trainers.
Yeah.
But the same thing with Ryan Garcia. We ain't saying he a bad fighter. We ain't saying he sucked. We ain't saying all that. It's just that, how can you put how can you back somebody how can you back a fighter and that fighter doesn't have anything that can show you that's what the promoter and all these guys is trying to put. He's just a social media star, really.
Yeah, exactly. I totally agree. Where's he? Laws put Ryan is a good fighter. He gets a lot of hate because of his antics. Most fans don't do their research on him because they don't like him. That's a good point. But I mean, I don't dislike him, like you said, Mike. I think he is a good fighter. He's got fast hands. He's got power. But I just think the reason why I say that I think he's a bit of a hype job is because, like what you've just said, I haven't seen his skills tested on a decent fighter. He's just been beating up tomato cans as far as I'm aware at the moment, whereas Luke Campbell has actually been in with 2 good fighters. Even that Ivan Mendy. Mendy was a good fighter. Luke Campbell will dig deep. I think Luke Campbell will beat him. I really do. I think it'll be the experience and his way around the ring.
He needs more.
Go on, Tyrone, you go.
Yeah. My issue with Luke Campbell is I don't think he has confidence in himself. You get people
I disagree.
They're used to winning. Olympic gold medalist, had a good amateur background. But then when he came to the pro ranks, so he lose to Mendy, and then he lose to Lomachenko and Linares. I mean, he said before the Lomachenko fight, he went in there and he sparred like, what did he say? He had like 3 people in the same ring, or he had 2 people sparring him at the same time or something retarded like that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, he doesn't have a good self-esteem. But if he does, he should beat Ryan Garcia. He would have beat Fortuna too. Those guys, well, Fortuna, yeah, but Ryan Garcia can fight. But like you said, him and Haney, they haven't really fought anybody yet.
Yeah.
Except,
but then again with that, Tyrone, you have to say is, you know, Ryan Garcia didn't fight those guys.
Exactly.
No, what?
Ryan Garcia haven't fought those guys.
Nah, he hasn't. No.
You know, I'm just saying is like, you know, confidence. A lot of people could say a lot of things when it comes to boxing or sports in general. Having confidence does help you as a boxer. Confidence does help you in a lot of sports, but confidence alone is not going to get you to win a fight or a match or anything. That's the reason why you have trainers and you have people in your corner to help you build a self-esteem. Ryan Garcia, look at all the people he fought, and he's used to winning.
Yeah.
But at the same time, is these 2 guys really ain't on the same playing field. See what I'm saying? Because one has more experience than the other. You know, and then, you know, L would put fire under your ass too. Yeah. You know, in the future fights, if you worth the damn and you have the right team and everybody is striving for that shit not to happen again, unlike, you know, other fighters around here just keep losing over and over again. You know, those are real journeys.
Yeah.
But yeah. Go ahead, Ross.
No, go on, Pat. You good.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, the reason why I pick Ryan Garcia to win is because, like, his power. Like, at the same time, you know, he knocked out 17 out of 20. So he's used to that power. But Luke Campbell, he's a dog as well. So he's gonna dig deep. You know, I don't know if he's gonna win by KO, but definitely, I feel like he can put Luke Campbell down. You know what I mean, with his power. So that's going to be a factor. If Luke Campbell goes down a good few times, then, you know, automatically Ryan Garcia, you know, is going to win, even on points. And if, you know, if Luke Campbell wins this fight, you know, this is going to bring him back to the top again. Because at the end of the day, you have to remember Luke Campbell, you know, he lost a couple of fights now. So, 2 fights or 3 fights? I can't remember now.
3.
3 fights, yeah. So
yeah.
He's, you know, this is his last hooray. Like, he needs this win. And can he do it against somebody, you know, with a big name like Ryan Garcia? And if he does it, you know, wow, it's gonna be, you know, the light heavyweight, you know, it's gonna be great again, man.
Yeah.
Well, you. I mean, like I keep saying it, like, you know, I don't know why this has to be emphasized, but you got to look at, if you look at, I'm just going to ask a easy question and that's it for this. Did you think that the last guy Ryan Garcia fought that it was going to go to a decision?
Nah, that guy was a bum. The Fonseca
you think that was going to go to a decision? And that's what I'm saying, that Tyrone.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why I didn't watch it. Well, I did watch it, but I was just like, I shouldn't have watched it. There's a difference between a okay fighter, this dude has a chance, and stuff like that, or he has a boxer's chance, like he can get a knockout. We didn't see this dude having a boxer's chance and knocking out Ryan Garcia. Nobody was gonna pick that shit, and if they did, and it happened, good for them. If they put money on it, because that would have been astronomical. But it's not like nobody. It was basically like Ryan Garcia went to a gay bar, put on drag, and every fight he has is his coming out party.
Yeah.
And he's singing some "It's Raining Men" or some homoerotic shit.
Yeah.
That's what it's like. Every time he has a fight, that's what it's like. It's like his coming out party. And then they want to, and then you hear him.
Just let me read these comments quick. A Weapons, salute to you, bro. He's put, we have to look at the errors too. Ryan Garcia was born into social media era. Oscar came around in this era. Had he been Ryan Garcia, that's a very, very good point. Law, salute to you. He's put Tevin struggled with Fortune, what's it called? Forsaker, whatever, and Ryan blasted him out. Good
well,
point.
In Tevin's defense, Tevin is known as, a piss puncher. He can't punch anybody.
Salute crusher.
Everything's going to go the distance, 8 out of 10
Say
times.
it again, Tyrone.
Tevin is a piss puncher, a pillow puncher, an air puncher, a leaf blower, all those things. So 8 out of 10 times, whoever goes, it's going to go.
Fucking ruthless, you Tyrone.
No, but Tyrone real though, because really, to tell you the truth, if I was an Oscar, that would be the fight I'd be looking for. At least I ain't got to worry about my fighter getting knocked out.
Yeah.
At least I ain't got to worry about it getting knocked out and getting hurt. You know what I'm saying? You put him down, you put him in the Tank Davis, you know that he might get knocked. There's a possibility. There's more of a possibility.
Oh, he's going to get destroyed.
There's more of a possibility. Well, it's probably more than 60%. And I'm being gracious.
Yeah.
Tyrone right. But that's what I would have did. So because that's what they've been doing. It's boosting confidence. Having this motherfucker be comfortable in his own skin after his coming out party.
Yeah.
That's all they doing.
Can someone do me a favor? Can you drop the link in the chat?
I can't do it. I'm on my phone. Pep on the computer. It looked like, well, he might be on the computer. I don't know.
It's all right. It's all right. Salute, Oddfell. I'll send you a link if you won't get on. Just let me. I just need to invite Black Star. Yeah, well, just quickly because I won't bring Stormy in because he hasn't said anything. But me personally,
Stormy always do that stuff. He come in there, he sit in the shadows, he don't say nothing, and then all of a sudden he pop up like Jack in the Box.
Like Jack in the Box. Me personally, I'm going to invite.
Stormy better start speaking up around here, man, and stop talking about udon and ramen, yakisoba, and damn, what's the other noodles he was talking about? Damn, I forgot the other one. That one looked good too.
Archimol.
I've just Oddfellow sent you the link, bro, and I've sent it you, Black, if you won't get on.
Hey, Mike, I must have been saying something good because you're repeating everything I was talking about.
Because some of those I actually ate. I actually ate the authentic stuff of it, and yeah, they good.
I've got to go back and watch that. I've seen you done Dine and Dish, haven't you?
Most Asian, and the thing about it is most Asian noodles is buckwheat, and most spots now, I mean, a lot of spots in Japan, they could give you like the what's that stuff that everybody be crying about if they can't figure out gluten? It'd be gluten free.
Yeah.
So yeah,
was gluten
and they make them there. They make them there. It's not like it has all the weird shit, and they make it in the restaurant and then they just cook it. Yeah.
Right. Let me see if I can get this brother on because he always has trouble with his mic. You there, Black Star?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Oh, crystal clear. Finally.
Yeah.
You're right,
man. It's been a journey, man. I have to tell you, bro. Hey, man, appreciate you having me on here, brother. I've been trying for some time, as you know, but I sure appreciate the opportunity to come on and chat it up with you fellas, man. Like I say, hey, what's up to everybody on the panel? Stormy B, man. Let me see. I know Stormy B, man, really pretty good, but I don't really know everybody else. But just saying,
I'm beatboxing in it. Thanks.
Oh yeah. Oh no, I know P-Box. Yeah, I couldn't tell you because they usually see your picture on there.
Yeah. Look, like that,
yeah. Now I know you. I know you now.
Yeah.
Got little Tyrone.
What's up, Black?
Yeah, man. So, what was we? What's the subject we talking about?
Yeah, I'm just no worries, odd fella. What's he put? Lost DM, feeding the fam, listening in. So yeah, okay, no worries, bro. Salute to you anyway, odd fella. Yeah, quickly, I'm just going to go around the boards with you and Stormy. What are your thoughts? Because I watched a great live stream as well, Black Star. What you did today, I enjoyed that for the short time that I was there. But
thanks for coming by, bro. Thanks for coming by. It was good to see you.
Yeah, you're welcome anytime, brother. What are your thoughts on Ryan Garcia and Luke Campbell? I mean, me personally, I think Luke Campbell will beat him because I think he's fought better opposition. But I don't take out the fact that if Luke Campbell's chin's left hanging out, Ryan Garcia's got some serious power and fast hands. He very well could blow him away. But me personally, I think Luke's experience will get him through it. That's just my thoughts on it.
I have to say I agree with you there, Lowe's D. There's so much about Ryan Garcia that hasn't been proven. Well, at least in my opinion, anyway. He does have good skill. He got nice power. He's really quick, man. So he has that in his bag. But the intangibles about, can he take a punch? Will he gut it out in a fight? He's never really been in a real fight before. So this will be the first time we'll ever see him in one. So by the end of this fight, though, I do believe that we'll know exactly what Ryan Garcia is, because Luke Campbell is going to test him in every way, shape, and form, and he's going to make him have to gut it out. He's going to have to. It's not going to be a one-punch knockout. This ain't Fonseca. So I really I see it being a test for him. But he's either going to come out shining through, or he's going to get exposed. It's either going to go one way or the other. I don't think it's both. I'm not really sure if he has a lot of dog in him either. And that's what I'm waiting to see in this fight. So, but I have to give him props though for taking the fight, man, because he could have took that WBO eliminator, by him taking Luke Campbell on, man. Is really trying to step up and really trying to prove himself. So I give him props for that, man. So hopefully he comes out on top. But right now, if you have to ask me how I feel, I don't think he'll be able to do it.
Yeah, that's a fucking great point. What you just said, that, and you see as well, but Black. The reason why I've got this little niggly thing about him, what I don't like about him, is because he's always on social media calling out fucking Devin Haney, calling out Tank Davies. He's always back and two with him, I'll knock you out and all that. But you've just hit a very good point on the head. At least now he's stepping up to fight an half decent fighter, a solid fighter, not an elite fighter, but a very solid fighter. And if he wins, a very credible name on the list. Go on, Stormy. My bad, mate. Over to you, brother.
We still on Ryan Garcia?
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Garcia has yet to show us he can fight.
Yeah.
We know he can punch. We know he has some decent hand speed, because that's what his physical attributes are. But until a guy gets into a fight where somebody fights back, hits him back, then we won't know anything. That has to happen in order to prepare and have a career. You have to fight people who can fight back.
Yeah.
Okay. Not just people who are going to go in there and lay down for you and feature you as a showcase. This is what it's on in boxing right now. And again, like, I don't care who tries to disagree or whatever, but that's what it is. If a guy has talent, you move beyond from where the talent is evident to areas of where you begin to discover more about what he has to offer as a fighter. And those are the transitions that are not taking place in boxing right now. Guys are making careers off of being featured. Triple G has made a career off of being featured. You can actually honestly say possibly the first quality fighter he fought was Kell Brook, who wasn't even in his weight class.
Yeah.
Okay. Kell Brook exposed some things. So what did they do? Did they step up on the learning curve of saying, hey, let's take it beyond what Brook was able to do, even though he was a smaller guy, and let's step it up so Triple G can show more? No, they doubled down on fighting guys he could feature against. And then he fought Canelo. And Canelo showed other things that Kell Brook couldn't show because he was bigger than Kell Brook. You see, he himself was making a feasting for a while on guys at his catch weight, was he not?
Yeah.
So he lost to Floyd, and he had that questionable fight against Lara. So I mean, what's really going on here? When you look at these fighters, if something becomes a little difficult for them, they double down on going back to being against featured guys. Okay, instead of stepping it up, going back to the gym, learning, polishing up their skill set, and coming back saying, "Okay, we've had that adjustment. Let's move forward." No, that's not what they're doing. Triple G is still running around trying to chase behind Canelo because he discovered something out of the 2 fights that he had with him. He could make a hell of a lot of money against a guy that he doesn't have to worry about that can't knock him out.
Facts.
That's what it is.
That's a fucking yeah.
I mean, what I see with Canelo is that a part of me wants to say like he kind of like wants to be skillful as Mayweather. Part of me when I see him, that's what I see. He wants to be. You know, look at his last look when he fought that woman beater, the dog kicker.
Kovalev.
Yeah. The window for that timing for that punch was so fucking wide. A fat bitch could have fucking hit that motherfucker.
And I'll tell you something else, Mike. I'll tell you something else about that.
Salute Charles.
He had nothing but advantages going in against Kovalev because Canelo is a better fighter than Kovalev. But I'll say this: what about the fighters who are on Canelo's level, around his age, that he's not facing? You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Now think about it like that, because he gets in there.
Me, I told Laws. This is what I told Laws. If I was that Kovalev, the dog kicker, the woman beater dude, I would not take that fucking fight with all them goddamn weight clauses. If it ain't no level playing field when it comes into getting a ring, I wouldn't have done it. Fuck you.
Yeah, but Kovalev was all about the money anyway. He was cashing out.
Yeah. He needed to. What you mean?
I mean, you look at it's about 10 fighters
threw a real punch.
It's about 10 fighters between 154 and 168 that Canelo could fight that he's totally avoiding, and they're all within an age group of his peer. They're all within the skill set of what he has to offer, and they are all within that place where they could prove themselves, whether they are for real or not, by facing one another. And this is what is happening in the sport. The guys are avoiding each other. It's like a school of fish in a bowl that's circling each other that nobody wants to come together. It's like they're all swimming around the outskirts and everything, like there's some poison in the center, and they're staying away from that center where the poison is. It's ridiculous. I've never seen it in the sport of boxing this bad. It has always been in the sport where people would duck somebody. But I have never seen in weight class after weight class there's so many men at the same time of their primes of their careers avoid each other. It's ridiculous.
I can see why that is, because there ain't that many people that they could hide from. Back in the days, it was like, even if the dude wasn't all that, he still, some of those fighters still gave boxers work. Dan Rayfuse, you could say he was a journeyman, but he was still giving people a hard time. You know what I'm saying? In some of the fights, not all of them, but refused to lose. Remember him? He fought Mickey Rourke, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of those guys, he was giving them good shots. He was giving them a good look. It wasn't like they was just gonna go in there and whoop his ass and not leave that motherfucker bruised and battered. A lot of these guys now, they can't even do that. They get up in here, they get knocked out between the first and sixth round. Matter of fact, probably can't even get out of the seventh round without being gassed out. These dudes back in the days, they had jobs. I know stories about, Mr. Refuse to Lose. This dude had a full-time job. On top of boxing being his main breadwinner. And he still came up in there with stamina. He still came in there in shape. A lot of these boxers now, they make excuses on why they don't make weight, why they get up in there looking flabby and sick, and all kind of shit. You know what I'm saying?
I'll tell you what, yeah. I'll tell you what, like the reason why they do this, because they get so much money. Whenever they fight, they get paid a lot of money. So then they can demand and do whatever they want. The fighters, they can, you know what I mean? They get so much money. All of them. Look at Stevenson when he fought. Look at Stevenson when he fought the other day.
Stevenson is back. He's gonna get his money because he's back. He's backed by somebody. Damn near a conglomerate. He's backed by somebody who is going to get paid.
Yeah.
No,
check the money. All these other guys getting 10, getting 5, 10, 15, 20 grand, and still got to pay their team, and still got to go to the doctor and get checkups because they just got fucked up.
Check this out. A couple of years ago, when Charlo ended up fighting Brandon Adams, right? Yeah. Check this out. Before the Brandon Adams fight took place, Triple G and Jermall Charlo were in a horse race to get offers through to Brandon Adams. Both guys wanted Brandon Adams. And the funny part about it was they were looking for an opponent, right? Why not fight each other? God damn it! What are you looking? You're fighting. You're looking
but that's part of the problem, though, Stormy. That's part of the problem, man.
Over who's gonna get Brandon Adams when you're supposed to be fighting each other?
That's some suck ass shit. That's some suck ass shit right there, Stormy.
But you know, part of that.
It's like if you go back and you could even read the dates on it and everything, where they were in a bidding war over Brandon Adams, and they should be fighting each other. It's like you are two quality fighters. That would be like, Tommy Hearns and Ray Leonard looking to fight over someone who was ranked outside of the top 20 during their era. That's crazy. And you were right there and you could fight each other.
Yeah, but you got the same thing going on now with Deverenchenko. You got Canelo and Jamal having to vie for that fight. And it all starts because you got a lot of people freezing a couple fighters out, just like Devin Haney, Jamal Charlo, certain guys, they just not willing to get in the ring with them when they clogging it up like that. But I think if Jamal Charlo gets that Deverenchenko fight, that could possibly be a breakthrough into actually cracking that up and making that happen, because you always hear people say, well, Jamal Charlo hadn't fought anybody, he hadn't beat nobody. But if he beats Deverenchenko, then they can't say that no more, because everybody knows that Deverenchenko beat Triple G, and Triple G he don't have the heart to get in the ring with Jamal. So if that happens, then that's gonna make people say, well, okay, well maybe Triple G need to take that fight, or maybe even Canelo. But I doubt Canelo is. He's got too great of a contract to risk,
That's what I mean. Usually, how many times has Bivol come out just lately saying, easily over the last 6 months, Bivol's been saying, it keeps saying it's blocked my mic and camera.
When was the last time he fought?
Tyrone, can you do us a favor, bro?
Yeah.
Can you drop the link in the chat for me?
All right.
Please. Because CDM can't get on. He wants to get on, but he can't get on. It's saying it's blocked my mic and camera. No, he shouldn't block it, bro.
No, he got to enable it on the in the settings on the web browser.
Yeah. You have to go in.
Enable it.
You've got to go in. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say you've got to go in the settings CMD and like Mike says, enable your mic and camera.
Yeah.
Then you've got the choice whether you want your camera on or you don't want it on. But yeah, just quickly, how many times has Bivol said that he wants that smoke with Canelo?
When was the last time Bivol fought?
Well, that's a good point
Who
as
fought?
well.
And who did he fight? Like, yeah.
Well, just quickly,
I can't tell you.
My thing with Canelo and Bivol is Bivol saying that he said he dropped down a division to fight him. But the thing is, why isn't Bivol calling for that smoke with the main man, Arthur Beterbiev?
Well, you have to understand is like, you know, we could you could say that laws, but we don't know if he has. A lot of times, you know, some of these fighters they just not big on, like, you know, that whole social media back and forth with people. You know what I'm saying? And some of them
back and forth
those interviews. You know what I'm saying, like that, and they probably already had. You know what I'm saying? It's just not on their radar. You know, a lot of these fighters out here, they ain't fighting the right fighters that the fans want to see, but the fans want to fight, and that the fight that and because it's the right fight. Also, it's the right fight to make because those are the fighters that's in front of you, and they're not doing it really because of stalling other fighters out, you know, fucking up a good nut, and also marinating.
Yeah, marination.
That's the reason why we ain't got a lot of these fights, because everybody, you know, the Canelo and a couple of the other cats out here, they're looking for that 300 million again.
Yeah,
they looking for it.
And I think another thing, I think it's farther up the chain too. I think these investors behind these networks, because you've got the fighter, you've got the promoter, management team, you've got the network, and then behind the network are people who actually invest in the network. The problem is the people who invest in the network know nothing about boxing. Neither do the people at the network. So when those two guys to come together and tell the fighter, you can basically fight whoever you want, and they don't put their foot down, then they get away with it. ESPN is a prime example of that. They put 4 to 5 cards straight of nothing but bum bashes. Jerry Ford versus Carlos Condom. I mean,
I watched that the other night, actually. Yeah,
I put my hands up. I said, maybe this would be an okay for that. It's not too bad because I saw Forrest versus Franklin. Me and Mike saw it.
Yeah.
And Hug Fest. And now I'm hearing Jamel Herring. Jamel's Herring is another guy I don't like. I'm not into either because he's gonna go fight this Oquendo dude who's like basically the Fonseca of that division.
Hold on, you said Fuezo Oquendo?
Fax 88.
No. Somebody named Jonathan Oquendo. He's a no-hoper. Don't worry about it. It's not too important.
It's fucking ruthless.
ESPN has just been on a tear of shit. Like, they've been really, really bad. And the commentators are probably the worst out of any network. I mean, they've got that guy who keeps nutting on the top of Tim Bradley's head because he looks like what's it called?
Eating that BB sandwich, when Tim Bradley was eating that BBD sandwich.
Yeah, that Joe Tessitore. Oh, they look so good.
Y'all didn't get that joke, huh?
I'm like,
y'all didn't get that joke, huh?
The gas.
That was a BBD sandwich.
Yeah. I mean, they're basically sandwiching this dude, and Tim Bradley can't even breathe.
Excuse me.
That joke went all over y'all motherfucking heads. It was a big black dick sandwich. He said it was a bread and bacon sandwich, a BB sandwich, but he forgot the D on the end, because that's what it was. Because Tim Bradley, he a cool commentator, but it just seems like sometimes
he's a go along.
He don't call the fights like it is. Like he try to make it seem like it's on some bullshit, and then Ward, he be holding out, he be holding back like Lennox Lewis be holding back, but Ward be sounding like flat.
Yeah,
he be sounding flat as a motherfucker, like just agreeing with everything or being too fucking nice and not just putting his foot down and just say, nah, man. You ain't gotta say like that motherfucker sucked. You know what I'm saying? But you can give the audience a clean version of how to get that point across. Like he's getting his ass whooped.
I mean, they're like go along to get along, guys. Basically, they're go along to get along.
Yeah.
Tim Bradley and
pushing that ESPN narrative.
Did you drop that link in?
No, I
in
forgot about that. Yeah, you're right. I forgot about that. They company man. I forgot.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it right now.
All right, mate, because he's waiting to get on.
ESPN is probably the worst that I've heard from in a while, because if you've noticed the way they commentate, and they've got that Joe dork on there, I mean, he's literally oohing and every 10 seconds. Like, the guy can't stop. And then he comes out here and he's like, ESPN is bringing you primetime boxing. You're not bringing us nothing. Stop it, man. We're sitting here seeing these main events and they're shit. That's why their viewership. What did Dana White say? Cornhole toss, beanbag toss did more than they did in viewers.
Well, it probably did. But the thing about it is that, I keep telling people, man, the UFC, they have a small pool of fighters. And the thing about it is the ratio between suck-ass niggas and good-ass fighters is not the same when it comes to the sport of boxing. There's a lot of people out there. You know what I'm saying? And even the top 10 of each one of these sanctioning bodies are oversaturated with losers. See what I'm saying? So you have to take that into account, that the UFC is in a better spot by like, it's not even, they didn't even mean to do it that way. It just happened organically. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Stormy.
And it's allowed to go down like that because there's only one guy really running it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not the same as boxing. So they're able to do that stuff. Yeah, people could say whatever it is about UFC and blah, 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 whoop, whoop. But look at all these other MMA companies out there that don't have good fighters. Look at they fights.
Yeah.
And it's easy to have a slugfest in the UFC, especially when you're not paying the fighter. You pay the fighter 20, 30 grand, and then you say, well, if you get up in there and don't fight your fight, and you fight the fight I want you to fight, which is Rock'em Sock'em blood. The more blood, the better, so you could get an extra bonus.
Yeah, just touch on that. I said that beanbag toss did more viewership than boxing, but I was going to talk about the UFC. Stormy touched on it last night. If boxing was doing what it was supposed to be doing, I wouldn't even look at the UFC, let alone, it wouldn't even cross my mind. I mean, 99% of people, ask any decaf, we're not hugging. We don't like hugging.
No.
UFC's got a lot of problems, man. I mean, I'm just gonna say them right now. First of all, they don't pay their fighters, like Mike is saying. These every 10 seconds, somebody's the greatest of all time, because all time for them is only about 25 years. I mean, these guys get paid $2 an hour, and then they try to buy. $2 an hour. Then they try to for a win, because Dana White's the slave master, so they try to compete. Which
Dana White's a slave master?
Yeah.
Have you seen how they act?
Because the UFC is.
No,
the UFC is, and that used to be damn near illegal.
Dana White is slave master, and he has it set up with these bonuses. Have you ever seen Fight of the Night bonuses?
No, I don't watch UFC, bro, so I don't know anything about it.
Mike knows what I'm talking about. What they do is they have these $50,000 bonuses to keep everybody in line, and they tell
$2.
No, it's true. $2 an hour. You know, $50,000 bonuses to keep everybody in line, and you got the fighters fighting amongst themselves about who sucks Dana White's dick better, or does Massa like me more than you, or fuck you. That's how they operate over there. But I give them one thing. There's only one thing in the UFC that they do. The best crotch sniffers fight the best crotch sniffers. It's true.
Fucking crotch sniffers.
He has a lot of but that's the only good thing they do. And if boxing was to do that, I wouldn't even look at the UFC because I'm not interested in the hugging and grab fest. Nobody is.
You know what, though? I have to say this, though. You know, boxing is not really back until the PBC gets started, really.
Yeah, for real.
I'm like to see what they have, because if you notice one thing, a lot of the PBC fighters haven't been doing much complaining over this quarantine time, you know, and they kind of sitting back in the cut. And, you know, you're hearing a lot of stuff, about what's going on with the Zone and Top Rank, and they talking about money and fights and stuff. And PBC been kind of quiet, man. And, you know, they get cranked up August the 8th. So I'm anxious to see what they got going and how it really gets going, because they tend to, for me, they seem to have the better matchups. More as far as competition, because Top Rank, you know, they always one sided. You can tell who's gonna win before the fight start. You know, one guy's they pushing, the other guy's just there to get beat up on. You know, so you know, when they get going, I think we'll know we have a better read on boxing.
Well, I got another.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
Somebody just sent this to me, but I think I sent this to you guys.
I'll be back in a minute. I'm just going for a cigarette.
What happened was, you can search this up too. Daniel Cormier, he's a big company man. He talked about how he loves the UFC and everything, like most of those dudes over there. He talked about how he went to renegotiate his contract. And over there, they have it set up where you get a certain amount to win and a certain amount to show. So he was making 50 and 50. So 50 to win, 50 to show. He wanted to negotiate it to maybe 100 and 100 or 80 and 100, 80 and 80. They started to scream at him and asked him, how dare he even think about trying to negotiate himself, considering the times they were in. This one, the UFC was, you know, coming up again and whatever else. But that's just kind of the mindset of these guys over there. You know, they run everything controlled. If you say something, you know, they'll blackball you. You can't get another fight, and they're in line. I guess it's good for the fans, but not for the fighters.
Let me tell y'all something, man. If I was the PBC, yeah, I wouldn't have been so quick to put my fighters in the ring, and especially during this COVID thing, because, you know, even a healthy person can die from this shit. But I'm gonna tell you guys something, and that's what people need to understand. Some of these guys out here are really just trying to have these fights to keep the fans captivated. So after, when it's all said and done, the fans got somebody, a promotional company to remember, and they think that people are going to go and gravitate towards them. But they can be more than wrong, because they're not giving the fans the fights for anybody to gravitate towards. There's no fights out here for nobody to gravitate towards. But the whole thing about it is, that's what they're trying to do. I wouldn't, and I told you guys, when this thing was all said and done, I was like, you know, a lot of these guys, they're gonna take tune-up. A lot of these guys, they're not gonna go out here, you know, 6 months, 9 months without a fight and get up in the ring and fight a real stone cold killer. A lot of these guys ain't. Some of these guys are, but a lot of these guys ain't. And that's the reason why I'm not really tripping, because I can already see this. I can already see the bullshit coming. And, you know, and that's one thing that's good about the UFC. The UFC, you could join the UFC, right now, get your ass whooped, rack all those goddamn medical bills and stuff like that, right? And only leave there with 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, $100,000, and divide that with your whole team, just for everybody to know your fucking name. And that's about it. Because you're not going to be about some. A lot of those guys ain't going to get that money. Look at Daniel Cormier. You think he ever touched some goddamn Ronda Rousey money? You think he ever did?
Oh.
You think all that work he put in, you think he ever touched what she had? Or what Conor McGregor had? You think he ever did this? But did he accomplish something, the same shit that they accomplished? If you think about it, Ronda Rousey, they was putting her up over there as the greatest female athlete of all times, and blah, blah, woo, without even really fighting the killers in her weight division. Because a lot of the women that's still here right now, that's out there holding belts and whooping ass, was in the UFC, and they danced all the way around on purpose, just so they could push her up and put her ass on a pedestal. That's what people gotta understand is this shit is this smoke and mirrors. It's a bunch of bullshit. Ain't no UFC giving people better fights than this. They got their own bullshit going on in their own circles. Just people just don't recognize it more than what they recognize in boxing, because in boxing, it's be already in tune to know the bullshit. Them UFC fighters ain't coming up over here trying to talk about what's going on in boxing, blah blah blah, because they don't know what goddamn. They ain't been paying attention. Yeah, I used to be a hardcore UFC watcher and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I was like, man, I ain't got business time watching this shit, because they still wasn't even giving the fights I wanted to see. And even when they got it, at the end of the day, when these fighters is gone, when these fighters is fucking gone out of the sport, who gonna remember their name? You gonna be up over here, oh, poor this guy, poor that guy, blah blah, with the woo fighter safety. See what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. I'll let y'all cook.
Yeah, you making a good point there, bro. That UFC is like that, and they basically is just working for the brand and pushing the brand, and they not really getting out of it what they should. And like you were saying a little earlier about having the real fights coming up, and it seems like we're gonna have to wait till like October. I know they pushed back the Lomachenko and Teofimo fight back to October 3rd now. But personally, myself, man, I'm looking forward to the Errol Spence fight. Errol Spence, Danny Garcia in October, man. It's supposed to take place somewhere in that time, because I know Earl's next month he starts sparring again. And he's been in the gym working real hard. So I think he's on schedule to make that happen, man. But as far as that Teofimo Lopez and Loma go, man, I have to go with Lomo right now, man. I just can't. I can't see Teofimo being able to land that punch that he needs to land. But if he lands it, though, it would change things. But I just don't think it's going to happen in his favor, because Lomachenko is real crafty, man, and he knows what he's doing in there. So I have to give him that credit on that, man. I think I favor him to win. What do you guys think?
What's up, people? Sorry, I was away for a bit. Hope you're well.
Salute,
what do you call it? Are you talking about Errol and Danny?
Yeah, I was talking about that, but I was at the end. I was giving my pick against Teofimo Lopez and Lomachenko.
Oh yeah. Wow, that's a good one with Loma and Lopez. A lot of people early on were saying Lomachenko would, easily win. But I look at Teofimo, he really is a fighter to the core. Loma's really good with getting you with combination punches. You see it in a lot of his fights. Like he likes to throw that right hook and then follow up with a lot of stuff, straight down the middle and then using the uppercut. But I think Teofimo's just his physicality alone is going to cause a lot of problems. Mexican fighting spirit that he has, I don't think Loma does really well with people that press, especially to the body. Because, Luke Campbell's no killer. Let's not get mistaken. Luke Campbell's a technically good boxer, but he's no killer. He doesn't have that killer instinct like Teofimo. I think Teofimo wins, and I think the way he shoots his punches down the middle, that's going to be a problem for Loma. So Loma's good with his combinations, and Teofimo just right through the middle. He's gonna snipe him through the middle. He's gonna kill him to the body first, and then boom, you gotta take him out with a straight shot. Some people might disagree. That's fine, but I just, good fight. I haven't seen Teofimo fight a whole lot, if I'm being honest, but from what I've seen, I think, he's got a great shot, a real good shot.
Yeah.
Who is that just speaking?
Watcher.
Forgive me, because I couldn't tell by your avatar. I want to present something to you that you may not have thought about. You made some valid points right there, talking about Teofimo and Lomachenko. But there is something I don't believe you pay very much mind to as in regards to Teofimo. Teofimo is definitely one of the fighters that fall into the category of what I've been talking about lately, about guys who have been put in against opponents where he is showcased and made to look good. Now, you remember the fight that he had with the Japanese fighter, right? Where he had a great deal of difficulty. And then outside the ring, when he had the situation where he was having that kind of a mental breakdown and he was complaining about some stuff that was going on in his personal life, there are some things that are hidden about Teofimo that would make me be cautious with him in a big fight with pressure and someone who will fight him back. That is something that could be a telltale sign. Vasily Lomachenko has a tremendous amount of boxing experience. Just because a guy is a little bit more physical or larger than him doesn't mean he will not be able to compete against that. That's the last thing in the world that he would be afraid or leery of. Now, the other aspect of that is because he has the type of experience that he has, he could set traps for an inexperienced younger fighter, a fighter who has never really had anyone to be able to compete with him on that high level when the lights are on and everything is at stake. And remember, Vasily Lomachenko being the fighter that he is, he was gold enough to try to go into a championship fight in his first so-called pro fight. He was willing to do that. You know, you hear a lot of guys who are supposedly highly touted with talent and everything. They'll say like, well, we're not quite ready for the big boys yet and this and that or whatever, where Vasily, because of his experience, was ready to jump in there with a champion. And even though he ran into some problems against you know who, and he didn't want to rematch the guy, but it's like, hey, it still speaks volumes about him and what he brings. If Teofimo cannot really box and fight late in a fight where the championship rounds come into play, he may be in some trouble. He may be in some trouble. And don't ever rule out a guy of class who has a world of experience. It's just like a young guy on the street thinking he just gonna run up on an older guy and take him because he's young, he's strong, he got muscles, he think he fast or whatever. But that old guy on the street may have been in numerous wars in the street and left wakes in his past. You understand? So it's like it can happen.
Yeah.
It can happen.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't disagree with that. I mean, you know, that's probably enough to change my mind a little. Obviously, I'm not, going to dismiss Loma. He's a tremendous fighter, and he's where he is and how he's held in such high regard. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's a tough fight, man. You know, that's like the overall thought on it. And I do think outside the ring problems are definitely a factor. You know, as we've seen lately with people. So yeah, that was good. Good breakdown.
Yeah. So let me read that. What Shy-Town's put. He's put while Loma choose not to rematch though, he said he wanted all the heat, and that's why he wanted to be pushed fast. That's a good question. Who was it who beat him? Was it Salido?
Yeah, Salido beat him.
Yeah.
Yep. And he didn't want to rematch
him. I believe the reason that ended up like that is because, to be perfectly honest, look at all the Eastern European fighters. It's the so-called quote, and this is not a slam or stab at nationality, but the Mexican style is the perfect style to beat Pro-Am style, because what it requires is the physicality, being in close, being in the trenches, taking your distance away, taking your timing and things like that. The Mexican style is the style to defeat the Pro-Am. That's the European amateur style. Yeah. That's the style. And that's why they don't really want to fight that. That's why you hear Triple G in the past, he was talking about, yeah, we fight Mexican style. What he was trying to say was it was putting a spin on the actuality of things. He's still an Eastern European. He has an Eastern European style, and that style can easily be beaten by getting in his grill and taking it to him. That's what it takes. See, a lot of these guys, they can perpetuate one thing, but the reality is something totally different. And it takes a skilled fighter to know that. Orlando Salido had a easier time against Vasily Lomachenko because he fought how he knew.
Yeah.
And Vasily didn't know that style. There's no amateurs out there fighting like that. And then when he come out here in the pro game, he faces that right off the bat and he gets his ass whooped. And guess what he didn't do? He didn't face that anymore till he got in there with Linares, right? And when Linares dropped him, you understand?
Yeah.
So like you look at it for what it is. It's right there in front of your face.
Yeah, and when he been asked like, do you want a rematch with Salido, he was like, oh, not really. Like, there's nothing for me to prove and blah 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 and all that sort of stuff. And he's like, oh, if people want it, yeah, I take it. But if someone beat me, I want a rematch. Do you know what I mean? He's got an L on his record. Like, if someone beats me, I want a rematch. I don't care. Like, you know what I mean? If people want it or not. But he's saying like, oh, if people want it or not. Do you know what I mean? Salido wanted that rematch regardless. But I don't know, man. People just want to make excuses for Lomachenko. You know what I mean?
Thing is, though, I do agree with what Blackstar said. He is. If you're still okay, Reggie, no worries, bro. No worries. I agree with Blackstar in a way, though. He is a good fighter, though, isn't he? He has accomplished a lot in the short time that he's been around as a professional, but I would like to see him. I don't know. It's an hard one because I mean the reason why I'm saying that is because when I hear him saying things like Bob Arum saying he's the best fighter since fucking Muhammad Ali and shit like that, that's an insult to me. For me personally, for Lomachenko to be known as a great fighter, he's got to fight the likes of. I mean, like say this Teofimo Lopez is I think it's a tough fight, but I think he. I don't know. I think he might come through it, me, but I'd like to see him fight like Devin Haney and fighters like that.
Yeah, the thing is though, people put him up in the sky, like Lomachenko. Like he only fought what is it, 13 fights or something like that, and he basically like people say like, oh, he's such a great guy. He done this, he done that. Look, all his achievement is all done in the amateurs, okay? And we don't know who he actually beat in the amateurs. Like some people actually say he's been beating kids in the amateurs. Do you know what I mean? So like he's 32, 33 years old. He's a big man, and you know what I mean. Like, and he's basically like people just pick him up only because he got a title. This that. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. I just think he's good. Don't get me wrong, but I just want to see more of him. You know what I mean? Before I say he's great.
Let me say something.
Just one sec, Mike. Just one sec. That's why I'm the same with Usyk. The same with him. He's accomplished a lot in a short career, but he had a big, long amateur career. But I don't think he's going to do anything at heavyweight. But that's another story. Go on, Mike. Sorry, bro.
So you have to understand this. You don't have to understand this shit, but allow me to put this out there. These promoters, they know they be lying out of their fucking ass. Well, a lot of this shit they saying with this greater than sliced bread, greater than Muhammad Ali. They know that. They out here. That's the reason why a lot of these articles that are out here about Deontay Wilder, about oppositions and stuff like that. A lot of these articles are paid for. Ain't nobody out here in the boxing game, right? And far as news-wise, outside of ESPN just writing articles just for the fucking fuck of it. People are paying people to write narrative. And this is the shit that is going to keep fucking happening until people start calling them out on their bullshit. Ain't no way in hell the Kims, the Dan Raphaels, the shit about Wilder on World Boxing News, on Boxing Scene, and all the way around can keep happening and to not allow other fighters to reach greatness because of somebody's pockets is longer than the other. That's the reason why that shit happened. He knows it's a lie. Everybody knows it's a lie, but he's the best one that everybody else could believe out there besides John Fury and Billy Dope Sanders trying to corner his and try to fucking into writing the fucking article about how good Tyson Fury is.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like you got like, you know, John Fury thinks we're scared. John Fury,
you can't expect people to write things just because you think that that's the right thing to do. Boxing, the whole world of boxing is from the fucking show me state. That state could be in the UK or United States. You have to show the fans. You ain't beat everybody. And that interview was from a while back. And you ain't beat everybody yet. How are you gonna call yourself lineal when the people in your same age group, you only beat one of them? You only beat one of them.
That's the thing, yeah.
But you're the lineal because you beat a dude that somebody else put the lineal on him when he wasn't a lineal. All it is just smoke and mirrors, and them dudes know that shit. They lying.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's what they say. And basically, John Fury saying like, "Oh, no one can beat my son." Of course, my dad would say that about me if I was fighting. Do you know what I mean? Like, who cares what he says? Like, at the end of the day, we all know, like, you know, Deontay Wilder won the first fight because I rescored it the other day, and Shaitan Finance was watching as well, and a watcher. And you know, I had, you know, Wilder and I had Wilder 8, you know, and Fury 4. So at the end of the day, you know, they just want to choose who's good and who's bad. You know, that's just people trying to like breach their opinion onto us, and I'm not taking it. You know what I mean? I have my own eyesight. You know, I see the way I want to see it, and I see the real truth. I don't care about the hype that they want to give us. And at the end of the day,
what did you do? Did you replay the fight or something on your channel?
No, we watched it on BBC Fox. It was actually played last week, Saturday.
Oh, well, who streamed it though? That's what I'm saying.
BBC Fox streamed it. It was live.
But I mean, did you stream it on YouTube or something?
No, we didn't. We just went there because it was scheduled at 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock, something like that.
Oh, right, on YouTube.
Yeah, it was.
Right, I'm with you. I'm with you. Yeah, I'm with you now, bro. Yeah.
I rescored it, and we all got it like 8-4 to Wilder.
I mean,
do you know what I mean?
I had a little more for Wilder. Okay. Look, you know, we can talk about that first fight all we want. I'm not forgetting about it, right? But a lot of the detractors and the people that have this weird dislike to Wilder, they just want to say, "Oh yeah, Fury won the first fight." Like, the dude did nothing for the first 4 rounds. He got outpunched, he got outthrown, he got countered all the time. You know, he wasn't intelligently boxing off the back foot. He was giving too much space. Like, all he would do is throw that jab, and then when Wilder threw like 6 punches, he'd just duck under them. There was no return ever. You know, there were a couple rounds where he really thoroughly outboxed Wilder, but he could, if he did that for a lot more rounds, then he would have convincingly won the fight. But I mean, look, John Fury, I mean, I don't care what he says. I mean, this is a guy that went up to Wilder and was screaming in his face saying that you can't beat me, you can't beat me. That was in Belfast. No one is like, I'm telling you, none of these other guys in that division, they're not like Wilder, man. Like, Wilder, he goes everywhere. Like, he went into his backyard.
Oh, yeah. I know,
in his backyard, someone threw beer on him, right? Freaking, you got Tyson Fury's dad, John Fury, screaming in his face. You got Billy Joe Saunders, who threw the chicken at him at Nando's. I mean, and then he went to he went to Brixton, and then Dean White went up to him. Like, what's going on? Like Mike was talking about the article, which I found out through Fanon's video. It was a World Boxing News. What are we talking about? Like, why are you bringing this up? Like, why are you bringing up, like, okay, he got knocked down. He actually, a big detail they miss is he got hit in the back of the head, which most of Wilder's knockdowns, because he's been knocked down 3 times now, officially in his career, 2 have come from getting hit in the back of the head. So, again, and like they say, it's controversial, and, you know, like, that's what the headline said, like, you know, it could come to light. I don't give a shit if he got knocked down. It happens. Who gives a shit if, like, in his 13th fight he gets knocked down? I don't give a shit about that. That shit's pointless, okay? It's happened to everyone. Everyone's had a bloody nose. Everyone's, you know, had a cut. Everyone's had, you know, maybe not Floyd Mayweather, but, you know, like, who gives a shit, dude? It doesn't matter. It really doesn't. Like Mike said, they just want to write it and cause a shit stir, and it's just people, you know, it's all about the money, and, you know, with this bull crap.
Yeah, they got like short-term memory, man. You know, at the end of that first fight, you know, they seem to forget how everybody in Fury's corner was all in church. They was all praying at the end that he could just last through the fight. Like, you know, it was such a breeze for them to go through, and he was just so much greater and better and all that. But at the same time, they was on the sideline praying. His wife said, "Don't fight him again." I mean, they was in fear.
Yeah,
all of a sudden now,
say that. Yeah.
Now all of a sudden now they're just so confident, and it's just, you know, it's just funny how that, you know, just changed the way that it has, you know. But that's what that trilogy is all about, man. And then things are going to get set straight in that trilogy, because he won't be able to do or pull off what he pulled off that last fight, for sure. But one thing was interesting in that first fight I found very interesting was how Jack Reese in that 6th round, he noticed that glove, and he walked up to the glove and he pulled it up. But when he pulled it up and let him continue fighting. He just left it alone for the rest of the fight. How come he didn't bring him to the side and get them to tape it so that it wouldn't slide anymore? You know, he was aware of how loose it was, because he took both hands to pull it up and get it back in position, when all he had to do was pull him to the side. If tape comes loose, the ref usually take you to the corner and let him retape you up. But this time he didn't do that. He just looked at him kind of funny and was like, "Oh, okay," and let him go. You know, so it just makes you wonder sometimes. You know, I don't know what the ref was doing, but he gave him every leeway possible. There was not one thing in that fight that he gave that was that you could say he gave to Deontay Wilder. Because that man was knocked spark out.
Yeah.
Did you
the thing?
I was gonna ask. Sorry, I'll let you talk in a second. You guys heard about the whole Mark Tibbs thing with White?
Yeah, I heard it. Yeah, it was a bad breakup.
Bad breakup. We can talk about that in a minute. Let's finish up on this Wilder thing, and then we'll go into that.
So yeah, basically, like, people say, like, oh, the second fight, like a lot of English channels, they say, like, you know, the second fight, you know, like the referee, it was like biased, blah blah blah. That's not even true. Like, you know what I mean? Look what Fury was doing. Like, Fury was like literally dirty during the whole fight, and the referee only took 1 point. I'm surprised that he didn't take no more than 2 or 3 or 4, because he couldn't even got disqualified, because all he was doing, like, just hugging him constantly, headlocking him. Like, every chance he gets, he was just like smothering him. That's not boxing at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? And that's how he was getting away with it.
Do you know what a lot of people miss as well? I spoke to Porky about this, Porky's Corner, on one of his live streams. Do you know, well, just through the chat, like, but do you know when he actually got knocked down in that 12th round? What a lot of people don't ever speak about is when he got knocked down and he got up, he actually put his hands on the ref's shoulder. I know it was only a couple of seconds, but he put his hands on the ref for what, maybe 2 seconds, and Jack Reese knocked his hands off. And just little things like that brought him that little bit of extra time to recover. It may have only been 2 or 3 seconds, But when
that's how he studied himself.
Yeah, exactly. And then he had to walk to the right and then walk back. There's even more time, and time as well as getting counted up. So if you actually put all that together, it's probably the best part of about 15 seconds.
Yeah, I saw that Porky video, man, and he had it timed at like 22 seconds or something.
Something like that, right?
Yeah.
Nah,
And
I'm gonna tell y'all something, man. That count, the reason why I left the count alone is and I told everybody this. Kept trying to tell them the count starts when the timekeeper starts.
Sorry, Mike, I was just laughing at what Jupiter Beach for.
You know,
yeah, he used the ref for support.
Yeah, he did.
He did.
The count.
He means supporters and like leaning on him.
The count.
Sorry, Mike, go on, bro.
Yeah. The count starts when the timekeeper starts, and then the ref is supposed to go off of the count of the timekeeper, and that's what Jack Reese did. No matter how you put it, it was more than 10 seconds. The rule states you have to be fully upright by the count of 10, fully upright. So if your legs, even if your legs is both legs off the canvas, and you have your knees locked straight, if you still bent over, that's past the 10 count. Yeah. But now, the rules don't have what a 10 count is. See what I'm saying? It doesn't state what a 10 count is. And the reason why I can't state it because the person is counting using their own mind, but at the same time is it gives the chance of the ref to help out and let these fighters up off the canvas.
Yeah.
We sometimes when you watch fighters, man, they be in there and they'll be getting up, but if they don't get up by 8, you see the referee wave them off.
Exactly.
That's standing 8, right? Isn't that like a standing 8 count? You know, I thought
no, exactly.
No,
yeah, and it's like
WWE. I've seen that happen.
That's not a standing 8 count, but that's basically.
No, but I have seen it happen, Mike.
Yeah, I've seen it happen too, but that's the reason why the ref is in the ring. The ref could sit there and look into the boxer's eyes and look at the boxer's motions and stuff like that, and actually properly analyze 100% of what's really going on. Besides us watching from home on the TV, like he could literally look at his eyes, he could see the paleness of his skin, he could see the pupils, you can see all that, right? So they know that's the reason why they shut it off after 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Jack Reese was already, he self-admittedly that he gave him every chance in the world to recuperate in that fight.
Say it right. No. Say it right. Because when you say it right, it sounds way worse than what you just said.
Well, how do you mean then, Mike? Say it right.
He said if it was Deontay Wilder, he wouldn't have gave him a chance.
No, that's not what I said. I was talking about.
No, that's what Jack Reese said.
Oh, okay, yeah, but that's just the thing. That's an unfair advantage towards to Tyson Fury, though. Why is he getting all this extra benefit? That man was asleep. And then have you ever seen a referee go over when somebody gets knocked down, gets on their knees and scream in a guy's face? It's like he just reached down and shook him up.
It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. It's crazy. It's crazy.
And then look at it. That was actually the time he fucked up, because that was the only thing he fucked up. But you can't do nothing about it because it just says a 10 count. It don't say 1,000. It don't say like the criteria on what a 10 count is in the rules. When he was
that's the gray area. Yeah, that's the gray area.
Like motherfucker.
Yeah, but you see Jack Reese when he started to count, and then he stopped, and then he looked at the timekeeper, then he counted again.
What's really wrong, fellas, is the fact that they're not consistent from fight to fight. If Jack Reese was behaving this way with every other match, I could respect what he does. But I've seen him stop fights, tell guys, no, don't get up, and be done. And then in this instance with Fury, he practically massaged his nuts to wake him up. Yeah. It don't make sense. When you're going from different fight to different fight, and then he says what he did was for the greater good of boxing. Get the hell out of here with that.
Exactly.
I have a question, Stormy. Check this out. Imagine, right? You got a boxer, right? And y'all about to have a fight. And y'all really ain't got a choice on who the ref is, but the other team does, right? Y'all going to negotiations though, negotiating right now, figuring out what refs y'all want to pick, right? But you know, during negotiations, you really ain't got a say on it, but you're gonna still try your luck. You know now, well, if you ain't got that much money, when you see how scandalous is sport of boxing, why the fuck would you want Jack Reese reffing your fighter when your fighter is fighting against somebody that they got multi-millions of damn near billions of dollars? Why the hell would you do that when you know this motherfucker is when he say the greater good for the sport of boxing, he means for his fucking pocket.
Jack Reese was paid, man. He was paid to ref that fight. He was paid, man. They paid him, and they said, make sure Fury does not lose his fight. Whatever you do not let Fury lose.
Think about it, though. If it was for the greater good of boxing, right? If it was for the greater good of boxing, right? I've been saying this. The WBC and all these cats never wanted Deontay Wilder to be the champ. They would have, if that would have been Deontay Wilder, he would have counted his ass out.
Exactly. He wouldn't count him out. He would have said it's over.
And then check this out. When the ref went over there to check Deontay Wilder, what makes you think that they didn't want to stop the fucking fight? What makes you think that somebody called the? Think about this. You can see that he's okay. Yeah, he's a bit wobble. But what makes you think that motherfuckers wanted the doctors go over there and stop the fucking fight? They say, hey man, he ain't looking too good. How about y'all go over there and check him out real quick? What makes you think it wasn't that?
The thing is, there was some form of that anyway, because Anthony Durrell told Mark Wheeler to throw the towel.
No, hold up. End this shit and get this nigga up out of here, and let's bring in the next great white hoe.
Yeah, and the thing is, though, basically, it was
in the second fight, you could look at it like this, because everything appeared from the outside. We're talking externally, looking at the fight live. In the second fight, everything appeared to be going Fury's way, right? So they didn't want to stop the fight like that. They wanted Fury to beat him down. See, that's a different look. It's like when Wilder's wobbling all over the place, falling down and stuff like that, because he wasn't knocked down. One of those times he went down, he stumbled down, and as long as Fury was pounding on him, they weren't going to stop the fight because the white guy was having the advantage, and they wanted to see him beating down the brother. That's what it was. No other way. Now, did he look like he could come back from that? It didn't. It looked like he was on the way out. So his people throw the towel in and stop the fight. But where's the mercy of the referee? Huh? Because the referee saw what the corner saw and what the fans were witnessing. Why didn't the referee jump in and wave that off?
I think he was gonna actually.
You can't have it both ways. When Fury was laying on the canvas in the first fight, eyes fixed to the lights, he was out. They could have waved that fight out. It was the 12th round. It's a good, highly contested fight. The guy is gone. Okay, Wilder wins. You come back and fight another day. I often said this, because he was knocked out and the ref let him get up and finish the fight. If the man would have slipped in a coma later that night when he laid down because of bleeding on the brain or something, because he was knocked out and he would have died, it would have been a real black spot on the sport of boxing, because somebody would have said, well, the referee had a chance to stop the fight, but he didn't. And the man went home later and slipped into a coma. He didn't go to the hospital to have his head checked, did he? But see, this is
what really close.
Had it been called knockout, he would have had to go to the hospital and have himself checked out, but he didn't.
Yeah.
Hey, Stormy, I'm gonna say this.
This is the inconsistency in boxing.
I'm gonna say this, and you can go ahead, Pep, because mine gonna be quick. It ain't gonna be long-winded as usual. But if you know what, I wouldn't have been mad at the nigga that nigga after watching the second fight. If Tyson Fury would have died, I wouldn't have been mad.
I was gonna say,
I wouldn't shed a tear.
But the thing is that this fight was actually.
It's been great being on, but I gotta go, man. Thanks for having me, man, and I appreciate all you fellas, man. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.
Yeah, man. Thanks, man. Black Star, man. Have a good day. But basically, all I was gonna say is basically like Fury. You know, it's not even Fury. Wilder. You know, people talk about him for a while that he's not a good boxer. So basically, like, you know, it was all coming anyway. They wanted Fury to take over. For a long, long time, they've been saying, like, you know, he's not a good boxer, this, that. They forget the guy got a bronze medal in the Olympics. You know what I mean? He knocked out or knocked down everybody that he faced. Still don't get credit. They always want to slack his record and stuff like that. So at the end of the day, they always hated on him. You know what I mean? And now, even if he wins, even if he beats Tyson Fury, they're still going to hate on him. I don't think Wilder can win this debate, man. Like, these people are just haters. That's all I think anyway.
I think
you ain't got to win the debate. I'm gonna put it to you like this: if none of the commentators really thought anything about Deontay Wilder, if none of the commentators really out there believe that Wilder cannot box, if all these commentators and media personalities and these fans out here thought that Wilder was going to get his ass knocked out by Tyson Fury, and Wilder get his ass knocked out by AJ, and Wilder get his ass knocked out by Dillian White, and all these other guys, and this dude from his second career, why the fuck are you putting Tyson Fury on a pedestal? Why the fuck are you putting him on a pedestal, a pendulum, and weighing him for how good of a boxer he is when he beat somebody that you said wasn't worth a damn?
Yeah, for example, like AJ, he's the unified world heavyweight champion. They still don't give him the credit. Like, they gave Tyson Fury credit even when he was retired, even when he was like 30 stone, like, you know what I mean, fat. They still were saying, oh, when he comes back, he can beat them all and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So Tyson Fury does one or two things, and then he's like the big hero. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it always has been the way it is, man. It's just disgusting, man. It's disgusting.
I want to just add something to the whole 12 count thing. Just two things, and then I'll stop talking about it just for here. One, in the 12th round, when Wilder landed those two punches, the way Fury landed saved him. And if you look closely at a lot of knockdowns in boxing, you see a lot of guys, when they fall on their back, their head will hit the canvas. They'll bounce off. You can hear the noise sometimes, depending on the crowd size and the atmosphere. Okay? The way Fury landed, right hand, left hook, he didn't land on his head. Like, his head didn't connect on the canvas, right? His left shoulder actually saved him because he's such a big, large man. He's such a wide man. That left shoulder, the way he landed, that saved him. His size alone, his genetic makeup, it saved him that night from, being out for an extra few seconds. Even though I thought the count was long, okay, that way, like, even if his head barely touched the canvas, right, that shoulder saved him, man. Like, you know how, like, sometimes people say you get hit with one, you get knocked down, and, like, the second shot might be your head hitting the canvas. His head didn't hit the canvas like that, and it didn't either in round 9. So that's my first point. And the other good point that Mike made was if he slipped into a coma. I mean, look what happened to Adonis Stevenson. He maybe if the ref stepped in an extra 1 or 2 punches earlier, he might have been okay, going back to the hospital and all. And I forgot what my other point was, but yeah, I mean, that's just, Tyson Fury's got a lot of luck on his side, and with these fans, I mean, it's like he's off into the wind.
It was a great point, Watcher, and I agree with what you're saying. The way he fell, he didn't have the luxury of a lot of fighters who fall limp when the head does have a chance to hit the canvas. He would not have gotten up at all if that head hit the canvas like it typically does under those circumstances. But what I was getting on about was the fact that it being where you see, this is what a referee's job is, and this is how Jack Reese failed boxing when he said he did it for the greater good of boxing. You're talking about a fight where I'm going to lay it all out for you here. You're talking about a fight where the champion who's defending has knocked every man he has fought down, if not out. Okay. Then you're talking about the heavyweight champion in this same fight had already put the opponent down earlier. Okay. And now you're talking about the 12th and final round, early in the round, where he puts the man down with a devastating right hand, left hook combination. The guy hits the canvas. His eyes are fixed. He's not blinking. He's breathing, but he's staring up at the lights, unconscious with his eyes open. The fight should be waved off, because if you're the referee and you understand the climate and the circumstances and who is in the ring, you have to look at it in that manner. You don't want Tyson Fury. We're not talking about, oh, let's give the victory to Wilder. We're not talking about that. We're talking about Wilder is an assassin who's been putting men's lights out. And here it is early in the round. The guy is out. His eyes are fixed. It's late in the fight. It's the 12th and final round. You look at the situation. You assess it. He's put this man down once before. You don't want him to hurt the guy. You don't want him to kill the guy. You say, okay, he can come back and fight another day. You wave it off. You give Wilder his 12th round KO, and they can come back and do it again. But no, Jack Reese, who says he's doing this for the greater good of boxing, gets down on his knees over Fury, yelling at him, trying to wake him up, okay, with the count and everything. And then when Fury does rise up, okay, Fury puts both hands on both shoulders, leaning on him. He brushes Fury's hands off, finishes the count, and lets the fight resume. When Fury put his hands on him, he should have waved the fight off then, because he wasn't stable enough for himself. He leaned to the ref. You see, you're talking about the circumstances where have played out in many other fights, and he did not do what he normally does. There was a previous fight someone was just talking about where he wouldn't let the guy get up. You stay down, you stay down. And the guy wanted to get up. You understand? So it's like, how do you make that kind of call in one fight and forget about it in another? Did Jack Reese have a vested interest in this fight for Fury being victorious, or at least going the distance? Possibly. You understand? That's the only way I can look at it, because there is so much corruption in the sport. You have to look and leave reasonable doubt for anything as you assess these circumstances when they cannot be consistent. They are always pulling something new out of their asses each and every chance they get. And that's why when you watch boxing, you have to be very acute at what you're looking at and how things are being assessed and the decisions that are being made. That's why I was able to say in the rematch, when Fury is bouncing him pillar to post, they were going to let it go to its conclusion. They would rather Fury have been able to smash Wilder into the canvas like Wilder has done so many others, so they could really celebrate the downfall of this champion. You understand? But the towel being thrown in, that's like the corner saved him or whatever. But there was not going to be one moment that ref would have assessed, oh, he's incapacitated. He can't handle himself. He can't protect himself. Let me step in and wave it off. No, that ref was on the take. He was going to let Wilder get beaten pillar to post until Wilder tapped out. Okay? And you can see these things. If you watch enough fights, you watch enough of these fighters, and you see what's really going on, you can make the assessment that, okay, he's doing this time. Why didn't he do it last time? It's right there. That's the wonderful thing about studying the fights. We got boxing conversations with Reggie Owens out there in the chat. He's been calling fights lately on his channel, older fights and everything, more current fights. He's going over these things. He's learning some of the rules and how they've changed over the years and everything. All of this stuff, it is great. This is why you should study it. Study for yourself. Don't worry about what I say or someone else says on the channels and all of that. Look at it for yourself, and you can make a proper assessment of what you're looking at. There is so much corruption, it's ridiculous.
let me just finish off with one thing. You were talking about when Wilder was getting beaten pillar to post. You made really good points, Stormy, about the round 9. There was already a knockdown, which I actually thought that one was long as well, but that could be for another time. And in the 12th round, early in the 12th round, right? When Fury got up and put his hands on Jack Reese, he had to do a little jog about, like Loz D was saying, Porky's corner. He covered that really well. Like 23 seconds in total, he got a break.
Yeah.
What people miss as well, all right? Some people miss it, some don't. When Fury got up, Wilder went to finish him, right? Now, we can say Wilder should have finished him, all we want, but Wilder threw a right hand. That broke Fury's guard. He then landed a left hook. And I watched a Showtime epilogue of like slow motion punches. And when that left hook landed, Fury's eyes were about to come out of his like anatomy. Like they were roll back so far. I think Jack did a poor job in that 12th round because you can understand when people look like that, I think it's time to call it because there's only so much punishment you can take. And then another clubbing right hand to the side, to the ear, that's going to take a lot of equilibrium. I mean, what does one man have to do to put someone away? Look at Marcellus Wilder. When he got knocked out on the undercard of Wilder Ortiz, Jack Reese didn't let him get up.
Yeah, good point.
Right?
Good point.
Listen, Marcellus, I don't think he was really going to get up. He was in the process of getting up, but he didn't let him get up. It's the same with a lot of other fights. So that's just my thing on it,
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you all a question and the chat. When this fight's finally made, how do you, honestly, and or not, how do you see this fight going? Do you think, because the reason why I'm asking this is because of all the Glovegate business and what we're talking about from the previous first fight, the referee situation, him being counted out and stuff like that. How do you see this third fight going? Do you see it going that because it's sort of like all eyes on me? Do you think like they're gonna have a top referee? Do you know what I mean? Is the pressure gonna be on the ref and stuff like that, or do you think it'll be like a sort of like backhanded payment job from like the first fight? If you get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Are you talking about the outcome as well?
Just everything. How do you see it going? If it goes to points or something like that, or do you think it'll be a stitch up or anything like that?
I think it is the hardest fight an individual can take in this sport in the whole world. There is no harder fight out there for a single person. You have a 6'9", 300-pound man who, look, whatever you think about the gloves, what I've seen and what I've heard has done something dodgy, right?
Yeah.
It is, like you said, Loz, it's all eyes, man.
Yeah.
And there's no pressure for Wilder. BFTB covered this very well.
That's what I'm trying to get at watching.
Yeah.
Thanks, bro.
Fury's got to knock him out. He has to knock him out because there's so much suspicion and there's so much questioning around this fight. How did Fury manage to do that to that killer? How did he manage to do it to that killer? And it's not like he feinted a whole lot into his shots. He didn't use a ton of head movement.
Yeah.
He didn't really do a lot of feinting. Fury says that's not the only thing he did, right? I think they should use the same gloves, for one. I think they should give them a pair of Everlast gloves that are not horsehair, because with that, you can modify it a little bit more, right? So just give them a good old pair of Everlast gloves, the same design, even the same color. It's okay, the red and blue tape for the corner color coding, that will do, okay? I think let's get let's get an American judge and let's get a Canadian judge and let's get a Mexican judge, right? Let's get some experienced judges who have done at least over 500 fights or 1,000 fights, like Roshin did in the first one. Not some that have done 200, because that's not a lot. Let's get the referee for maybe the one that did Mayweather McGregor, I forgot his name, or the one that did Joshua Klitschko, because those guys aren't pushovers. If they see shit going on, they will call you on it. Like if you're headlocking someone, like they know where to step to see if you're hitting someone without, them being able to see behind their back or whatever. Get someone that's strict. Get someone that's in your face saying, hey, you do that shit, you're getting a point taken away.
Exactly.
Not this placid Jack Reese putting his hands out saying, hold on, timeout. No, I want someone in there enforcing it. I want someone in there saying, hey, you can't hit this man in the chest or the throat when you've got him in a guillotine MMA choke when I'm not looking, because I'm going to take a point off you. And if you do it, and if you hit Wilder low, because Wilder got hit low a couple of times in the first fight during the clinch, the ref didn't see it. But if you do that shit, you're getting disqualified. Then you're not champ anymore.
Yeah.
Right? So I think in terms of the outcome, look, I don't know. Wilder's just he's got to grind him out. He's the better athlete. There's no way Fury's the better athlete. Like, there just isn't. I mean, and the thing Wilder needs to do is hit that body, and he needs to just avoid that scrambling of the headlocks and chokes, and he just needs to shoot that right hand down the middle and be aggressive. If he's aggressive enough and he throws enough, he can win a decision, or he can knock Fury out with that right hand. I mean, that's what he's got to do, man. That's how it should play out. That's
great talk. That's great talk, Watcher. That's what I'm saying, bro, because of all the controversy over the glove gates, drugging, the first fight and everything. Like you said, it's one of the hardest fights to ever be called. And do you know what I mean? The referee, whoever the ref is for this fight, for this next fight, they've got to get a legit referee who isn't going to take any kind of fucking bullshit, i.e. fucking any kind of holding, any kind of headlocking. You're getting warned straight away. You carry that shit on, and it's a point taken straight away. I'll take points off you all night if I have to.
Yep.
And as the judges, like you said,
I think they need a Mexican.
Yeah, mate. I think the judges. Me personally, I think the judges shouldn't even be from any of the countries. I don't think they should have an American judge, no British judge, no. They should have a complete free, neutral judges from, I don't know, say fucking Kazakh. I'm just saying as for a joke, but do you know what I'm trying to say? Kazakhstan, something like just someone from just completely nowhere near America or Britain. Any judge from round that way, like a European judge or something like that. Can I just quickly say, if anyone in the chat?
No, I wouldn't say European.
Yeah, just quickly, can you go and subscribe to Black Star Sports TV? Trying to get the brother up, man. He's just created his channel, and he's got a good channel. Be much appreciated if anyone could go and subscribe to him and support him.
I think I'm subscribed to him. Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Basically, the Mexican. They need a. I'm subscribed to Blackstar, by the way. I'm subscribed to all of you guys.
Absolutely.
Basically, what I was gonna say, it's like, that the referee needs to be, I think, Mexican. I think Mexican referees, they don't take shit and all that. So I would definitely say a Mexican referee. I don't want to see no European, no one white or no one black. Someone in between. You know what I mean?
Maybe a Chinese.
Because if someone is black, they're gonna say, "Oh no, he's favoring Wilder." No, not Chinese, because Chinese sometimes they see themselves as white. So I would say Mexican. I would say definitely like some sort of Latino or something like that. You know what I mean? And
okay, then who for the other two?
The judges has to be similar to that as well.
Australian ref. Get an Australian ref.
That's what I mean. Something like that.
But Australia's done it.
Yeah, but
nah.
Someone that's really, really unbiased.
They are unbiased. They are the best. I'm telling you.
Yeah, other side of the world.
Yeah, but Fury.
I know.
Yeah, but Fury is white. So it can come across as a
No.
color. I don't know.
Yeah,
but maybe, you know what I mean? I'm just saying.
I know. The thing is, like, I've seen like Aussie refs, right?
I know.
If you do shit, like if you hit in the back of the head like 3 times, like just in the clinch, you will get a warning for a point.
Rob Sportsmanley has just fucking sorry to butt in. Rob Sportsmanley has just hit the nail on the head. What I was just about to say, Mexican referee won't work because of the shady ass WBC. Rob Sportsmanley, man, fucking salute to you, brother. You just hit the nail right on the head. What I was
I
just
forgot about that
to say.
one. So
fucking bang on, Rob.
Wow.
I was just about, when you were saying Mexican referee, I was going to say, but of the WBC, Maurizio Sullivan. He shouldn't be a Mexican referee.
Just get neutral guys, man, from somewhere in Europe.
Okay, so who then? Who?
Like Loz said, get a guy from Kazakhstan.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
It's not, look, that doesn't give a shit about this Fury's white. They don't give a shit. They're there to get paid to freaking judge a fight. They don't care. You think they care about Tyson Fury winning? No. They want guys like Golovkin to do well.
But guess what, though?
Completely separated from that.
The worst referee will be if he's from Britain. If he's a British referee, then that's going to be the worst. That's going to be the worst if it's a British referee. Because you know what? If someone goes down, they're going to say, no, it's finished. Yeah, they're going to say it's finished. I was watching thingy yesterday, David Adelaide, against that guy. And basically, like, when he put him down straight away, when he got up, the referee was like, no, it's finished. Like, the guy was not that bad. Like, you could still probably carry on. He was like, no, that's it. So I don't want to see no British referee, because he's going to say, as soon as someone goes down, he can say, like, no, it's over.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean?
No British referee, no American referee, no Mexican referee, because like what Rob just nailed on the head, shady ass WBC. Someone like what should we say? Someone from fucking Australia who's other side of the world, or just someone who has got no kind of connections with either the WBC or race, colour, or anything. Someone who's from another country, what don't give a shit about the decisions, but they're gonna be fair. And I know it's gonna be hard, but
it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard because you know why? You have to remember a lot of European countries, are like racist, and to put in, to get a European referee, they will favor Tyson Fury.
Well, there may be Asian, South Asian, even some fucker from the Yemen or something. I don't know.
Yes, I was gonna say, get someone from Abu Dhabi or maybe something.
Yeah, something like that.
Do you guys want to hear what I have to say about?
I think that's fair. That's fair.
Speak, man. Speak, Stormy.
Stormy, before you speak, I just want to say, before you speak, Stormy, sorry to butt in, bro. Rob Sportsmanley said, bring back Mills Lane. There's a kick-ass referee. But whether or not he'd do it or not, I don't know. Sorry, Stormy. Go on, bro.
Did Mills Lane pass away? I thought he passed away.
I don't know, brother.
He's alive.
He is?
Yeah.
I could have sworn I had heard he had passed away, but if he's alive, God bless. I'm happy for him that he's still around. Well,
God bless him.
My take on the third fight is a very interesting one. I think it will play out within 3 scenarios, and I'll explain very clearly and quickly as I can. The first scenario, I feel the fight plays out like this, with both fighters having had advantages in the 2 fights previously. What's going to happen is someone is going to.
Yeah, he must be dead because Rob's fuck it. They're
gonna put it in a sellout, like I said. It could be Fury, it could be Wilder. If it's the 2 of them, then that would make for quite a barn burner. Because someone's gonna have to try to put to bed the answer of not only who's the best, but that it really means something to come out of this fight victorious as the heavyweight of the present, going forward. The second scenario that I think people ideally are buying into is Wilder coming in, having all this information, being given that he may have been cheated and this and that, and the gloves and this and that, and looking to make a statement, so to speak, and come out in a manner of which aggression on his behalf could be a dangerous thing because he could run into something himself. But looking to put to bed everything in a sense of a revenge type situation. The third is going to be the most unpopular and possibly the most likely to happen. With the events that took place in the rematch, that Wilder comes out and is no longer the same fighter that he was before everything went down the first go around, and may find himself in a situation where Fury just has him, has his number, has him mentally, has him in his hands, and that he may not be able to recover mentally from everything that went down in that second fight, including all of the rumors of everything that transpired and the embarrassment of not having people around him to protect him from these things if they are true, and everything like that. So it's like, for me, I can see it playing out in a manner of one of these three scenarios. And believe me, all of them are very possible. The last that I mentioned is highly likely. And the second one that I mentioned would be the one that most people would like to see. But remember, Larry Merchant once said, boxing is the theater of the unexpected. And a lot of times in boxing, you get the unexpected.
Yeah.
That was fantastic. I love that.
It's the OG,
yeah.
isn't he?
The third one,
the OG.
He is. The third one concerns me a lot, because if I see that, like, I don't know if you guys seen the dent, but fuck, man. I mean, I've not seen that dent before, like, at all. But yeah, the second one is favored by a lot. Yeah, man, great. That was a great breakdown.
Yeah,
it really was
fantastic. Right, I'm going to get off in 15 minutes, but there's something I want to cover before I go, because it's getting quite late. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning. What do you all think to that? What we were talking about last week, the Katie Taylor and that Persoon rematch. Mike, according to Mike says, salute to you, GG. Salute, bro. According to Mike says I have seen that Matchroom have said that they're going to go for it. But according to Mike says, Watcher's dipped. He always dips, Watcher does. Every time I say I'm going to get off in a certain amount of time, he always dips. What do you think of that for a rematch? Do you think I'm quite proud of Katie Taylor for actually, if it does go ahead, I'm quite proud of her for giving her the chance to have a rematch, because that first fight, Katie Taylor got her ass whipped. So
I think basically, like, she should take the rematch, because obviously, to other people, to most people's eyes, like, she lost that fight. So she needs to prove herself that she is better than Spoon. But I don't know, like, if the fight is it officially, like, announced, or they talk about it?
I don't know, Pat. That's what I'm saying.
I don't know if the fight will happen.
I don't know, but I did see Eddie Hearn put on.
I don't know.
Eddie Hearn did put on Twitter that it's coming soon, and Sky played back the first fight the other day, saying, "Wow, God, what was it?" He was saying something like over last couple of years, what a great career. And they showed that fight, and I was like, are you for real? She got fucking battered in that fight. She got the fucking dog shit beaten out of her in that fight. Chi-Town's put Persoon beat her the first time, and I don't see it anyway. She can win the second. Katie hasn't changed it. Yeah, facts, Shy. But I do take my hat off to her brother for if they do make the fight, because Persoon definitely 110% deserves that second shot at that fight again. Definitely. Because end of the day, Katie Taylor is a full-time fighter. That Persoon is a fucking part-time fighter. She's a cop. I'm sure she's something like an inspector or something. She's quite high up in the Belgian police. But if they do make the fight, then I like I say, I take my hat off to her for making that fight. And then quickly, I see that Daniel Dubois and Joe Joyce are fighting two stiffs, aren't they, before their new fight? Oh, salute.
Yeah, they're fighting basically like, yeah, it's a warm-up fight, in it, because at the end of the day, they haven't fought for a while. So before they, you know what I mean? Like, so obviously they're fighting two unknown guys. Apparently one of them, I don't know which one it is, but one of the opponents of Joyce or Dubois is undefeated. But of course they're going to be undefeated if they haven't fought nobody. So
the two Germans, aren't
it's
they?
a warm-up fight, you know, because at the end of the day, they got ring rust. Yeah, they're two Germans, so they got a ring rust.
You know what my concern is?
At the same time, they're not paying them a lot of money, so it's easier to make that fight.
Yeah.
So it's probably going to be four stiffs then.
Yeah.
Stormy. Oh, you're great, Stormy. Fucking love having you on here, bro. And you know what, though?
So, yeah.
Do you know what my concern is, though? We ain't going to see that fight this year. Because originally, when just before the pandemic was, well, it's not over, but before they started lighting up the rules over here, they said that fight was, they re-announced the fight for October, I think, and they said it will definitely happen. Excuse me. How the fuck are them two gonna fight two stiffs? And I mean, it can be done, of course it can be done, but how are they gonna have the time to fight two stiffs and then fight in October? I don't believe.
According to Frank Warren, like, I think it's gonna happen. I do think that fight will happen in October. I think the reason why they're doing it as well is not because they're, you know, ring rust and all that. I think they're doing it just to promote their names as well. So in case people forgot about them, or you know, or the casuals and stuff like that. So basically, they're trying to like showcase them now, and then, you know, I mean, like they can go into the big fight in October. That's their plan basically, because that's going to be on pay-per-view in the UK. So that's why they're doing this fight. The two stiffs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the thing is, though, Pat, what if one of them actually comes unlucky? Do you not think that it's? Do you not think that it's a risk doing that? Me personally,
it's highly unlikely. It's very highly unlikely.
Why is it though? Nothing's highly unlikely in boxing, bro.
Well, you'll know once they select the opponents. That's how you'll know.
Yeah. Well, according to what I watched on Boxing Square, one of them's actually unbeaten. I mean, I know he's only had something like 7 or 8 fights, but he's unbeaten. I mean, I don't know. I just don't see how they're going to fit it. What we're in now, we're coming towards the middle of July. I suppose so. Yeah, we got August, September. But then,
if they were smart, and I talked about this on my Friday night chop session about these guys not getting in the ring with one another.
Yeah.
If they were really smart and they really want the fight between Dubois and Joyce to take place, fucking train and fight each other. Because too many things can happen in the interim. We're already dealing with this safe distancing thing and everything, and there's a good chance they're not going to be fighting before a real live audience and stuff like that. So why run the risk of something interfering? Go ahead and train to fight one another under these auspices that we find ourselves currently. And guess what? If it pulls off in the fight without a glitch, then other fighters can say, okay, well, we'll step on up. And stop bantering about, stop delaying and holding shit off. Somebody could have a car accident like Earl Spence did. Someone can get hurt in the gym. Someone can get, some kind of tragedy in their lives personally that can affect them in the sport and their participation in the sport and delay things further. Stop mulling about and make the damn fights, man.
Yes, sir.
This is what it is. I talked about it Friday night. It's like it's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's exactly what
any of them be here tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, Stormy, if you think about it, bro, if you really, like you've just said, if you think about it, bro, salute to you, GG. Thanks, bro. Angie's, she's talking shite down. If you think about it, Stormy, right? Most boxers' fight camps are what, 3 months or maybe just over or just under. So if you think of it, just say for instance, it's a 3-month training camp. August, September, October, right? There's 3 months. Now, just say it's the 22nd of October. Just saying, for instance, I'm not saying it is that date. 22nd of October. What are we today? What, the 11th, 12th of July? That's nearly 3 months. So, like you just said, Stormy, why the fuck aren't them two in a training camp now, training for the fight in October? Why have they got to have an in-between fight between now and October when a great training camp is 3 months?
Exactly. And you could ruin the fight by suffering a bad cut or something, or breaking your hand or getting a broken rib or something. It can happen. This is why I'm telling you, they keep milking the sport, man. Just make the freaking fights. People will tune in. People will order. People will come. It's like, it's not hard. Just make the damn fight, and everything else will be okay. Because once,
but you know what? They're doing it for the money.
I said this once before. I said, all it's going to take for the sport to really make a turnaround is for one of the major fights that we want to see happen.
Yeah.
And then someone else steps up. You know what? There are about 5 great fights in the sport of boxing that in any particular calendar year that we would like to see that would trump anything of the highest order that the UFC would have to offer, or MMA. So why are they not doing this? Why are they letting a damn second or third class sport? Yes, I said that.
Yeah, I agree. It's the second class.
Be on par with them. That's ridiculous. There are so many great fights to be made in boxing that are not even world title fights.
Yeah.
Just make the damn fights and the people will be there. Stop milling it out.
Facts, bro. Fucking 100, Stormy. Facts. There's so many great fights, isn't there? Wilder Fury, Dillian White, AJ versus fucking Fury, AJ versus Wilder, Spence versus Bud Crawford, Canelo versus Charlo versus Caleb Plant, Billy Joe Saunders versus Demetrius Andre, and Gary Russell Jr. versus fucking Leo Santa Cruz. Oh man, I can't. Dimitri Bivol versus Turviev and
Russell Jr. fights. There's fights galore from top to bottom in the sport. Miguel Burchelt, these guys, put them in the fucking ring and let these guys fight, man. Stop milling out.
Fucking right, man. You Stormy, man. You just bang on. There's just so many, and like you just said, there's that many great fights. What aren't even title fights? There really is. Right, I'm going to get up out of here because the little man's. he's showing his face. He wants to watch film with him. Right.
All right, man. Have a nice night. It's been a great show. And I'll see you soon, Los.
Yeah, man.
Very great show, man. Thanks for having me on, man. I'm gonna go watch me a Bruce Lee movie, man.
Salute, Stormy. Salute to you. Mike, I'm just getting up out of here, bro.
My bad, man. I was my bad, Stormy and y'all, man. I was talking to my old lady on the phone. She had called, and she been getting a little bit nippy. So I'm sorry about that.
Nippy. Salute to everyone in the chat. Appreciate you, Jupiter B, Angie Wise, GG, Rob Sportsman's Lee, Chi-Town, always, bro. Everyone who came through, Mark Wunderlich, just everyone who came through. Appreciate your support, really do. I'm gonna try and I need to push this channel on, man. I've come up with some ideas, but I'm gonna let you know on a few secrets soon what I've got planned. Hopefully, if it pulls off. I know a lad at work who knows an Xbox. I'm going to try and get an interview with him, but whether it works or not, I don't know. But I'm going to go. I'm up out of here. So salute to everyone in the chat. Peace out. I'll see you next week.